Tristan, you come off a tough loss like you had in the Junkie fight. Just how do you digest that and move forward? How long does it take?
It was pretty easy. Like I said, I got over it between the night it happened and I was over it before I got back to America. So, like 2 days. Like I said, it just happens. Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. Yeah, I got caught. There's not much I can really do about that.
Yeah.
So I got over it pretty quickly.
Which one was harder to take, the outcome of the first fight, or the doctor stepped in? I know you never really felt like that was a true loss, and
That
then
was
what happened there?
that was harder because I was still conscious of that one. I was still able to. I felt I could still go out there for that last round. So that was much harder. That took weeks.
Yeah, I know you mentioned briefly yesterday. You think you're both young enough in this division where you could potentially see a third
Yeah,
fight happening down the road. Is that like what's more important to you? Maybe righting that wrong or getting that title, or do you think they
that
kind of go hand in hand?
it's not important. It wasn't that important after the first one. My goal is not just to beat Ngannou because what does that mean? My goal is to get the belt. So if he has it, or if he's in my way leading up to that title shot, then yeah, I want that. But I'm not gonna take like say he goes on a 2-fight losing streak and I'm on a 2-fight winning streak, and like you can have the belt or Ngannou. I'm gonna go for the belt. So
Right. Justin has said a lot leading up to this fight that he feels that you're not good at being the nail. You can be the hammer, but you're not good at being the nail. But we've seen your fights against Alistair, Mark Hunt. You've been very resilient. You've been
yeah,
able to come back from adversity. So do you think that's just a complete, unfair characterization of what your fighting style is and how you are?
I mean to say it was unfair would be me kind of giving it validation. Like I don't care what he says. Who is he? Who is he? Yeah, he beat Mark Hunt, but I watched that fight. It's when he beat Mark Hunt, when I beat Mark Hunt, those are two different fights. Mark hit me, I was out, I came back, won that fight. I don't even think he was able. He never stood his ground long enough to get hit. So I don't really respect his words. I don't care what he has to say. We're gonna fight this weekend. That's all that matters to me when it comes to Justin Willis.
But I mean, knowing like what, just kind of going off that point, you've shown that resiliency in the fight.
Yeah.
How much does that give you confidence going in there? I mean, I'm sure you don't want to put yourself in those
No.
situations, but to know that you can get
Yeah.
through them.
Well, yeah. Obviously, to be able to go look at the tape and be like, yeah, I got cracked in that fight, but I didn't go down. I was able to battle back. It definitely gives you confidence. I know I can take a shot if I have to. Rather not, but if I have to, I know I can.
You talk a little bit about just how happy you are to be here. But like, can you talk about how going from Beijing to here, the camp and the process and getting to this spot?
I mean, like after Beijing.
Yeah.
Yeah, after Beijing, I took off like a week just to relax, and then we got right back into the gym. And we've been in camp mode even before I got the call for this particular fight. I was already in camp mode. I didn't know when or who I would be going against. But then when we did get the call, it was really nice having Alistair up part of this camp as he was my Beijing camp. And then he brought in some other guys. The last week of my camp, he brought in Struve, which isn't like, obviously Justin Willis is here and Struve's way up here, but it was still cool to be able to work with him also. So I've had a lot of great camps, and I think I've added a lot of skills and tools, and I'm ready to put them on display this weekend.
What are some of the things that you learned from from Overeem and from guys like Struve and but like not only technique wise but also mentally?
It's really the mental stuff because our styles aren't the same. Alistair's a stand-up guy, Struve a little more of a striker also, but just the mental aspect of handling this stuff, like the week leading up to it, all the outside distractions, they've helped with that. Just the talks we have, like obviously I'm not gonna get into that stuff, but they've given me wisdom and I appreciate it.
Chris, I'm curious to know what you think of MMA fans, because I always see you in the comment section of like MMA Junkie Instagram and other accounts, like, going back and forth with them and writing the shit. What's the motivation to do that, and what's just your perspective?
Because I come from a wrestling world where there's not a lot of talking. Like Askren he's a little different, but most wrestlers we don't really talk a lot. And when I do hear someone say something that I feel is disrespectful or inaccurate, I don't get why people have an issue with me like giving them my insight. Like I thought that's what fans want. I thought that's what social media is about, like interacting with the athletes that they want to follow or the entertainers or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I like it because sometimes I do have good combos with some of these fans, and other times you get the a-holes who just want to say wild stuff just to have a screenshot to show it to their buddies. And sometimes I indulge them, sometimes I don't, sometimes I block them. It just depends on the day.
Is it hard to like filter through some of the negative stuff though? And like that
it's not hard. It's kind of funny sometimes because, like I said, a lot of their comebacks are, "What are you doing responding to me?" Well, you tagged me, so are you shocked I responded? Like I don't know, because I don't see myself as like that big, like, and I can't talk to anybody. Like if you tag me and you say like, "Oh, Blaydes is a bum," I'm gonna respond and say, "No, I'm not a bum." Like sometimes the fans like it, and I guess other times they really feel adamant that I'm a bum and they just want to go back and forth. And I'll do it sometimes, and other times I'm just not in the mood. So I like the interactions though. I do.
What's your road to the title look like? How do you get there coming off this past loss?
Right now, I don't know exactly. There's a foolproof like roadmap, because who knows what's going on with DC and Brock, and who knows guys are getting suspended, guys are dropping out, dropping in. Derek Lewis retired for a little bit, then he came back, so I have no idea what the roadmap is, to be honest, and I really don't try to put too much of my mental effort into that because it's kind of pointless.
Is there any beef with Justin Willis? I mean, Mike kind of mentioned he's made comments. You just talked about essentially fans making comments like that. Kind of feels like he's sort of one of those here.
I don't know. He's just hyper aggressive. I've heard about him prior to this, like how he is leading up to fights, and I guess I didn't fully accept it until I'm doing it myself. He just likes to talk a lot. I'm not a big talker. Like I said, I come from wrestling background. You don't talk on the mat. You shake hands, you wrestle. I may beat you, you may beat me. Shake hands, you walk off. And there's no jawing. There are guys that beat me several times in college, and we've gone to parties together that night. Like, it's not a big deal. But I guess he wants to be like the next Kobe or the next McGregor. He's trying to talk himself into it, which I feel like if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. But I'm not going to engage in that.
So when you beat him on Saturday, will you shake hands and go grab a beer?
I probably won't grab a beer. No, too much has been said. But will I like continue this? No. Once this is over, it's in the past. I'm moving on.
Daniel Cormier is calling your fight on Saturday, and he's Justin's teammate. Do you think he's going to be able to call it right down the middle? I
mean, maybe, maybe not, but that doesn't really affect me either way. So I hope so. I hope he's a professional. So I want to lean towards yes. He'll be able to call it down the middle. Yeah.
Speaking of Cormier, obviously things are still up in the air with the heavyweight division. If he does fight Brock, I know that's been thrown around. Yeah. What do you feel? How do you feel about that?
I mean, I understand it. Like when it was first brought up last year at UFC 226, I was there, so I saw the whole Brock going in the cage, calling out Stipe, calling out these. I saw it. I get it. It's hyping it up. They want to send EC off with that big payday, and he's earned it. He's been the face of the company for like the last 4 or 5 years. He's fought John Jones. He's fought Anthony Johnson. He's fought some of the best names. So he's earned this. So I have no problem with it.